Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 58 of Serendipity, and this one is titled Keeping Time. After playfully wrestling with Deku, you went over the menu again, and then rang for room service and put the order through, and went to have a rinse in the shower while Deku put some clothes on. "It's going to be a loud party tonight," he said with a sweat-dropped look when you came out of the bathroom. You were about to ask why, but the thump, thump, thump of the music downstairs answered the question for you, and you gave him a sympathetic look. "It's okay, we can watch a movie or something and put the volume up to cover the sound. It's a good thing we don't want to sleep anytime soon." He nodded. Just then there was a knock at the door, and you quickly turned and walked back to the bathroom to get a robe, while Deku walked to the door to accept the food that had arrived. With some very polite bows, the food was brought into the room, and the wait staff was paid his tip, and then left for you two to be able to enjoy your meals in peace and not so quiet. Putting on the TV, you and Deku settled down in the bed together to chill and eat. The hours ticked by, and at around 3 a.m. the party was starting to ease up a little. Deku's lips had found yours by then, and the TV had been well and truly forgotten. And after some more intimate time together, you both noticed that the party noises downstairs were getting less and less. "Oh, I'm so short," you sighed, getting out of bed to remove the plates from the end of it. "Let's go to sleep." Deku nodded, laying there completely wasted. You smirked and put the plates in the sink, then walked back to the bed and crawled over him. "Did I tire you out?" you cooed in a teasing voice. He nodded sleepily. "So much love-making," he mumbled. You giggled and kissed his temple, then flopped down next to him and snuggled into his side. In a matter of seconds you were both out cold, until a shrill cry broke the silence and you woke quickly. "Was that a scream?" you thought as you sat there in the bed, looking at the balcony door that was open. The light from the city still sifted through the sheer curtains that were slowly swirling back and forth in the light breeze. All was silent again, so you lay back down and slowly drifted off to sleep. It was quite early the next morning that there was a sharp knock on the hotel door, and you sat up quickly, rubbing your eyes. "Who is it?" you called out in a tired voice. "Oh, I do apologize," the voice called back, "but I desperately need some help of hero Deku?" At hearing his name, Deku sat up and rubbed his eyes. "Yes," he called out. "Sir, are you able to come to the door?" the voice asked. "Please." Deku looked at you, and then got out of bed and put a robe on, and you did the same. "Who is it?" you whispered to Deku, who shook his head at you. "I don't know," he replied curiously. He walked to the door and opened it to see a well-dressed older gentleman standing there who looked very concerned. "Hello, sir," Deku said with a bow. "What can I do for you?" "May I come in?" the man asked, glancing around the hall. "This is an urgent and private matter." Deku nodded and stepped back to allow the man to enter. "Firstly, congratulations on your wedding," he said to you and Deku. "You are a very well-suited couple, and I wish you a long and happy marriage." "Thank you, sir," Deku said with a smile. "May I offer you a glass of water?" "Oh, no, thank you kindly," the man said, sitting down at the small table there. Deku sat down opposite the man and waited expectantly while you stood behind your husband with your hands on his shoulders. I am not sure if you heard the party downstairs last night," the man started. "Oh, excuse me, I must introduce myself. My name is Katara. I manage this hotel." "Oh," Deku said with another bow. "Pleasure to meet you, sir." Katara nodded. "I wish it was a meeting under more pleasant circumstances, but there's been a death last night at the party below." "Oh," you gasped with surprise. "I'm very sorry to hear that," Deku said professionally. "It is most unfortunate, and I would very much like the help of a hero to figure out what happened," he said. "The press would have a field day if they heard of this, so I want the matters resolved as quickly as possible." "I understand, sir," Deku said. "I will need a list of names of everybody who attended the party last night, as well as the name of the person who deceased." I'm sorry," you said softly, cutting into the conversation gently, "but I did hear a scream last night." "You did?" the manager asked eagerly. "What time was that, please?" Well, you thought, Deku and I went to sleep around 3 a.m, and it was after we fell asleep. I'm not sure how much time lapsed, but it was probably around 4:30 a.m. I think I'd been asleep for an hour and a bit. The doctor on scene placed her death around 5 a.m, so that would make sense, the manager nodded. Did you hear anything else? No, unfortunately, all was silent after that, he said. Do you know what happened to her? Did you say the person was a she? Yes, she. We are not sure, but it appears that she was drunk and fell into the pool and hit her head, and sadly passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry, he said sadly. Was she found in the pool? She was on the side of the pool, yes, he replied. She must have been able to pull herself out of the water, then passed away. Oh, you said softly, thinking for a moment. Then what about the scream? Was that her that screamed? You wondered. May we come and observe the scene? Deku asked. I need to look around. Yes, please do come, the manager said as he stood up. Both of you are welcome to come. Okay, give us a few minutes to get dressed and then we'll come down. Which room number is it? Room 17, he replied. I will wait for you there. Both you and Deku saw the manager off and then went and got ready to go to the party that had gone horribly wrong. That's really sad she lost her life, he said to Deku. I feel bad that I didn't investigate any further. You can't blame yourself, Yin, Deku said. We weren't to know. You nodded with a sigh as you both headed out into the hall and then made your way down to the next level. The room was cordoned off and had guards either side of the door, but when Deku introduced himself and yourself, they readily stepped aside for you both to enter. The place was nearly trashed when you walked in. Bottles of liquor were everywhere, and there were plates left of food on the table and floor. Wow, you whispered, looking around at the police who were walking around doing their jobs, taking photos, dusting for fingerprints, and checking other things. The manager saw Deku and walked over immediately. Deku, we have the deceased still poolside. Please, if you will. She's still here? You asked, a little mortified. He nodded. We can't have her body removed until the police have cleared her. I'll come and have a look, Deku said, starting to follow the manager. You can stay back here if you like, Yin. No, I'll come, you said, hesitantly following him to the pool. Worriedly you reached ahead and took his hand, holding it as he led you outside. As you looked around him, you saw a blue body bag that was covering a body, and your facial expressions twisted with dis-ease. Would you like to see the body? The manager asked Deku. He nodded and waited for a policeman to reveal the woman. She was fully clothed, a pool of blood around her head, and you had to quickly look away when you saw there was blood coming from her nose. It was a blunt trauma to the back of the head, the head policeman said to Deku. Ooh, bit of a mystery. There ends chapter 58. Stay tuned for chapter 59 coming tomorrow.